Clap every time.
Now we can start.
Hey everybody, welcome to We're Cracking Gamecast.
Hello.
I'm LB. This is Anthony Patallo, Pop Nutshell.
That's me.
This is Stefan with JavaHero, and
the
champ is here.
Ladies and gentlemen, the heavyweight champion of the world has arrived. The champ is here. The champ is here. The champ is here.
The champ is here. Guy comes, the reigning We're Cracking DM Challenge champion is in the house. We got DM Challenge 4 coming up. Yep, right at the end of April. I'm really excited about DM Challenge 4, man, because Scott's currently wearing what we're calling the Legacy belt. This will be our last annual run of the DM Challenge. So we're gonna black box that belt with the winners of every DM Challenge 1 through 4. Starting with DM Challenge 5 and moving forward, we're going to buy one of them big-ass belts for everybody that wins.
All right.
Right, so they'll get
hold my pants up.
Yeah. The way the DM Challenge works is you sign up as a player or you sign up as a DM.
Okay.
If you sign up as a player, you're essentially a judge because I'm going to give you a scorecard. If you sign up as a DM, you're playing for the belt, and your job is to create a 3-hour campaign for 5 players of various random experiences, experience levels in D&D.
Okay.
That shit is fun.
Yeah, well, I mean, we also have...
Come down on Tuesday.
Yeah, learn to play D&D, man. Come play it anyway. It's awesome. But when we do these DM challenges, we've done 3. We've had about 12 or 15 DMs that have come out and represented. Okay. And they've got to be, man. They've got to be. I've been playing this game since I was 6 years old. They've got to be some of the best DMs I've ever seen in my life. A handful of them are better than me. It's really impressive.
All right.
One. The champ is here.
The champ is
right.
So just to kind of tell you ahead of time, you're going to be just hearing a lot of mm-hms and okays from me. Yep. I am fairly new to D&D, so...
Well, this ain't D&D, dude.
Oh, man, we're doing Legion today.
This is something totally different. So let's show the box off real tight for a second, and then let's get it out of the champ's way so it ain't up in his face.
Our very first episode here was Star Wars X-Wing, which is created by a company called Fantasy Flight. Okay. Star Wars X-Wing's a aerial combat tactical war game. Okay. Right, where you're flying around these Star Wars ships and you're trying to outmaneuver and outshoot your opponents. Okay. Right. This is a tactical war game as well. This is a ground force game. Okay. This game's relatively new. It's been out for just a couple of weeks, and this is Fantasy Flight's stab at the Warhammer 40K market.
Okay. Directly, you said.
Yeah, right? Almost explicitly. I mean, it might as well be called If You're Done with 40K. Almost identical base sizes. Yeah. Almost identical scale of miniatures.
And you made all of these yourself, right?
Well, I mean, they come in that box unassembled. Okay. But one of the major things that's kind of problematic with 40K for the new player, right, is, man, when you buy a squad of Space Marines, it comes in 5 sprues, sheets that you have to cut out, every arm, leg, head, weapon system.
Every bit that's not connected to something else, you have to cut out and then glue together.
They've done a magnificent job for the last 30 years of making that a perk. Not a burden, right?
You're gonna love this, yo.
Yeah. Isn't it so awesome how customizable the game is? And indeed it is. And man, Scott is one of the most gifted converters I've ever seen. Where he'll take a miniature and he'll take bits and pieces from other kits, and totally change the appearance of the miniature that comes out of the box.
That's badass.
It's badass, dude. And he's really good at it. When I
started some shit underneath the hood of my truck, I need you to look at.
Yeah, right. But
give you some MacGyver tasks.
The assembly for this game is so massively easy by comparison to every other war game on the market. Okay. Every other one of them. Like this miniature right here, when he comes out of the box, he comes legs, torso, and head is one piece. Oh, yeah. And his 2 arms are sculpted to that gun. So that his 2 arms and the gun are one piece. Okay. And you just glue his arm sockets in and he's done. And then, same thing here, dude. Glue his arm sockets in and he's done.
Ratio-wise, if we're looking at what's on the table right here, and you had something comparable from Warhammer. Time-wise, what's it take to build this? Time-wise, what's it take to build that?
How long does 800 points take to assemble versus how long does 2,000 points or 1850 in
So
40K
like
take?
maybe a couple hours for Legion, depending on the models, and then 2,000 points for Warhammer. That depends on your army, but a day, 2 days,
Really?
Yeah.
longer.
Throwing a hoagie.
Like
10-minute
I like
break.
big models, so like a knight army.
Okay.
You know, it'll take you a couple hours per night to assemble it. That's a couple hundred pieces.
How big is a knight compared to something like? Okay.
Yeah, it's like 8-9 inches tall. But that's the extreme other end. Most armies in 40K use a lot of infantry. And
Yeah.
you could have 100 models on the table.
Yeah, and they're 6 bits a piece.
Damn,
like
man.
6 pieces each, and you've got 100 of them on the table.
It sounds like things like something like this, dude. If I buy it and Stefan buys it, we could put our shit together, play a game or two, and still have had time to have breakfast that morning.
Yes.
And snack in between.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Okay, all right.
You could assemble. Like I assembled all of
Comes
this.
in, you can build it and then play it. You're not going to burn up your whole weekend.
Yeah, I assembled this in less time.
I mean,
than
you
it
probably
took.
will because it's dope, right? You
Right,
can
yeah.
spend the whole weekend playing.
Man, let's play. When we talk about these tactical war games,
Okay.
we usually talk about the pre-game first, right? The stuff that happens at your house. And the major component of any kind of tactical war game is list building. At your house, you're going to take whichever units you choose to field. In Legion, you play what is called an 800-point game.
Okay.
And every one of your units will have a point value associated with it, listed here on its card. All right, we're going to zoom in on those in a minute.
Gotcha. Okay.
All right, so you're going to go to the house, you're going to pull out whichever unit you want to put on the table. We got 2 units of Rebel Troopers here, and there are 4 of them in a unit. On this card, you're also going to see all of the potential upgrades that this unit can take.
Okay.
You'll see what color defense die it throws when it's attacked. You'll see what its health is and what the unit's panic value is. So when a unit starts taking fire, it can be panicked and then made to run away. Down here, every unit has what's called a surge value, right? It's a surge ratio. So when you throw your dice, if you throw a defensive surge ever with a rebel unit, or with a rebel trooper unit, it becomes a shield.
Okay.
Right? So these surge values always equal shields for these guys.
It increases the likelihood of them stopping an attack.
Yeah,
Stopping
exactly.
an attack, okay.
Whereas by contrast, the ATRT says when he throws a surge, that's an offensive surge. It turns into a critical hit.
Okay.
Right, and he doesn't have a defensive surge at all.
Okay.
Right, so they don't have an offensive surge. He doesn't have a defensive surge.
Oh, it makes sense. Okay.
Right. Same thing with Luke. He's got an offensive surge that turns into a crit. Right.
All right.
Underneath that, you'll see their speed, represented by these 2 red dots. Right, tells you how fast they move on the tabletop.
Okay.
And then you've got their 2 weapons, or however many weapons they have. The conditions of the battlefield and the terms for victory are always randomized every match.
Okay.
Right, and
The best part about that is that they can release more cards in the future that can be added to those separate decks.
Okay,
And they
so you can-
expand the game and how it's played later down the road.
Okay.
so the game is played in phases, like most war games are.
Yeah.
And the first phase is called the command phase. Both factions will have what's called a command hand. This command hand will have 4 cards in it that are common to both of us. Right, so both the Rebellion and the Empire have these cards. However, our commander is Luke Skywalker.
Okay.
So we've also got 3 cards that are unique to Luke Skywalker.
All right.
Right, he's got 3 that are unique to Vader. Right. So at the beginning of the game, beginning of the turn, we are going to choose a command. And what you're looking at here in the upper left-hand corner of these cards are a bunch of little pips.
Okay.
The command card between the 2 of us that has the lowest number of pips is said to have initiative.
The pip card, or the pips in the upper left, dictates the speed of the card.
Gotcha.
Right.
The fewer number of pips, the faster the card is. And there's 1 to
This is
4
priority,
currently.
like you're saying. Okay. Gotcha.
Right. So we're going to secretly, each of us is going to choose a command, and those commands will tell you how many units, and in some cases, what kinds of units
Okay. So
are
in that
going to be
situation-
ordered.
Gotcha.
In this situation, you can order any 3 units.
Okay.
In this situation, you could order only 2 troopers units.
Got it.
Right?
Okay.
So we're going to secretly choose a command, and we will, let's go with this one. Right? And then once we've both chosen them, these cards are going to leave the game. You're not going to be able to repeat these over series of turns.
Okay.
Right? So he's chosen his and I've chosen mine. We turn them over. Now, when you issue your orders, you've got order tokens. Right? These order tokens are face down with your insignia, and they're face up with a icon that corresponds to a unit type. So these little triangles, those are core troop units.
Okay.
The triangle with a chevron, that's your commander.
Yep.
And your gear is any kind of vehicle you have.
Roger.
Okay?
Okay.
So we chose a command that's going to let us give orders to 2 units. So we're going to get to choose which ones, but he gets to choose first.
Okay.
So he's going to give Darth Vader an order, and he's going to give those dudes an order. Now, the tokens that he doesn't use, they go face down, right? And can be randomly drawn from. But that's a smart way to issue your orders because he knows now that the only orders he has in that pile are infantry.
Okay.
And he can activate either one of them with one of those order tokens. By activating 2 units on purpose and leaving those 2 in the pile, he now has complete control over the army. Because whether he activates a unit that he's ordered or he randomly draws it, he determines which ones he's going to activate and which ones he's not.
Okay. Okay.
We also are going to issue orders to 2 units, but we're going to issue it to our troopers.
Okay.
So that means Luke and our ATRT here, those guys are going to randomly activate.
Okay.
Right? From there, you go into the activation phase. And the activation phase is where all of the action happens.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
So starting with the player that has priority, right?
Okay.
That's Scott. He's going to do one of 2 things. He either activates a unit he's given an order to, or he draws this top tile,
Okay.
right, and activates whatever unit is visible when you turn it over.
Okay.
Okay? So
Yes.
Scott, fire away, man.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with Vader.
All right. So he's going to activate Vader.
Okay.
Right? When you activate a unit, that unit gets to take 2 actions. And all of those are in the rulebook.
Sure.
Right? And kind of laid out exactly.
Oh, yeah.
But we'll go. Scott knows what he's doing, man, so go ahead and do your thing.
Depending on the cards you have upgraded, you can have extra actions. And one of those types of actions is called a free action.
Sure.
And he has a card called Force Reflexes, which has a symbol on there, that double arrow.
Okay.
That means you can do it for free, and it doesn't take up one of your 2 actions.
Oh, okay.
So first thing I'm going to do is perform his Force Reflexes.
Sure.
And there's another symbol on there, that arrow. That means you have to exhaust it. So you turn to the side, and that shows that you used it.
Okay.
Right? To unexhaust a card, you have to take a recovery action.
Okay.
Right? However, just like with any kind of these games, man, my favorite rule about this is everything's a rule until it's not a rule.
Okay.
Okay? Because we're going to tell you all these rules, and then every word of every one of these cards tells you some way to break one of those rules. The one we're talking about right now is Darth Vader has an ability called Master of the Force. At the end of his turn, immediately one of these force powers unexhausts itself.
Okay.
Right? So he doesn't have to take recovery actions, right, to get his force powers back. They're just going to come back naturally.
Okay.
He can recover, right, and get them all back.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
But right now it's exhausted, and that gains Vader a dodge token.
All right.
Right? And he's still got 2 actions, because that free action doesn't cost anything.
Right. From using Okay.
So for his first action,
So he's going to move. Vader is actually very slow. He only has speed 1.
Okay.
So that corresponds to the movement template. This is the 1 speed,
Okay.
2, and 3.
Oh, sure. Okay.
Movement's pretty straightforward. There's a curve on the template that matches up to the base, and that's going to provide him some cover should I receive any fire.
Okay.
For his second action, he's actually going to take a dodge action, which is different than what his Force Reflexes gives him, because that's a separate action.
yeah, so he'll get a second dodge token,
Okay.
right, making him even harder to hit.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Okay?
So
Yeah.
being very defensive with Vader, because I don't want him to die.
All right. Makes sense.
All right, so now he's activated a unit, he's made 2 actions with it.
Okay.
All right, so now it goes to us.
Okay.
Right, and we can choose. You can either activate one of your infantry units here, or you can turn one of those over and see who's underneath. What you want to do?
You know what? Why not? Let's activate infantry.
Okay, so pick one. Who you want to send over the barricade out into no man's land? You may move twice if you like. It's the only action you can take twice.
Can you move a barricade?
You can hop. Infantry can move over barricades, right? Yeah.
Okay.
So you just hop over it like it's nothing.
Okay.
Can't take it with you.
Oh, darn. Okay.
You could aim and then fire directly into those stormtroopers if you wanted to, because if you look over here, right, our weapon is range 1 to 3.
1 to 3. Okay.
So that's 1, 2, 3.
So that would...
And those dudes are clearly in range.
Okay.
Right?
All right.
We could also fire at Vader if you wanted to.
So what would be the difference between just firing and then aiming and firing?
No, it's fine. Aim is a separate action that you take that when you fire, it allows you to re-roll dice that you threw blanks with.
Gotcha.
Right?
Okay.
You could fire and then move.
Okay.
Right? Mm-hmm. It gives you a lot of cool ground tactics flexibility, right? You could tell these dudes to move up and then shoot. Mm-hmm. You could tell them to shoot and then move up.
Okay.
Or you could tell them to stay right where you're at and aim, then fire.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right.
Let's try that out.
So for your first action, you would say, I'm going to take an aim.
Yeah.
Right? And that unit gets an aim token just like he gets a dodge token.
Okay.
Right? Then you're going to attack. Right? And when you attack, you're going to declare your target.
Okay.
Right? Which I imagine you want those guys, or you want Vader. You can have Vader if you want it. Keep in mind, Vader's sitting there behind cover with a bunch of dodge, and he's got a lightsaber.
Okay.
Right? I don't know how intimately familiar you are with Star Wars.
Oh yeah,
but shooting blasters at dudes with lightsabers is
Not
never an awesome plan. It's sometimes an okay plan, right? But it's never the best plan.
So you need a flank, in other words.
It was
Gotcha.
an okay plan once.
Yeah.
Order 66 worked out pretty good.
It worked
for
out
about
great.
30 years.
Right, it worked out
And
good.
now they're just fucked again. No.
All right.
All right, let's go for the stormtroopers.
All right, so we're going to shoot at stormtroopers. Now keep in mind, one of your dudes also has that minigun.
Right.
And you can see it throws.
6 of them, yep. Okay.
But right now you're going to fire into those stormtroopers, man. Throw all of them.
All
Pick
of
them
them.
all up and
All
shake
right.
them and throw them all.
Throw him right at the chest. Throw him right at his chest.
One at a time. Ping them off his forehead.
All right, here we go.
Like Joe Pesci in Casino.
All right, now you've got an aim token.
Okay.
So you can spin this to re-roll 2 die. So when you throw your die, he gets to modify them first.
Okay.
Then you modify them.
All right.
So since I'm behind a barricade with
Yep.
the infantry, they have cover 2,
Right?
which lets me cancel 2 hits.
Correct.
So these 2
Are
are
gone.
gone.
Got it.
All right, now you can modify your die by re-rolling 2 die. So I would grab those 2 black die.
Do they have the scopes?
Oh, that's right. They have enhanced scopes. The champ.
The champ is
So
here!
they gain the precise keyword also.
Okay.
And this is all stuff that you'd learn when you were doing the pregame.
Yeah.
Right? When you were kind of focusing on how you were building your army.
Okay.
You spent these 6 points to give these dudes the ability that when they spend an aim token, instead of re-rolling 2, they get to re-roll 3.
Oh, okay.
So we
got
get all of them.
All right.
And re-roll those. Good catch, Scott.
All right.
What you're left with is a hit and 3 crits, which is essentially at this phase just 4 damage. We have white defensive die. He's got better armor than we got. He's a stormtrooper.
Okay.
All right, so he's going to throw 4 defensive die and try to cancel these hits.
Okay.
And his
So 2
surge,
of them.
his
Okay.
defensive surge value on a stormtrooper is nothing.
Yeah, they only have offensive search.
Right, so those are counted as blanks. So he's going to cancel 1, and he's going to take 3 damage, which he inflicts on any 3 models that he wants, and kills those 3 dudes.
Gotcha. Okay. All right.
Now, when you are fired upon,
Okay.
right, it doesn't matter if he cancels them.
Okay.
Right, if you throw a hit at all, that unit becomes suppressed. Nobody's going to stand there and take fire.
Okay.
Except Vader.
Except Vader.
Except Vader. Okay.
Vader has no panic value at all.
He's a different story.
When they are suppressed, you activate them, you can try to shake suppression,
Okay.
but if you fail to do that, any unit that's suppressed only takes 1 action a turn instead of 2.
Oh.
Once you take suppression equal to double your panic value, right, you start running as fast as you can toward the nearest board edge. If you run off the board, you're dead.
Okay.
Right, so you can scare them off the table. Yeah, within range 1 to 3 of your commander, you get to use your commander's value instead of your own.
Okay.
So Luke's command value is 3. You know, you dudes ain't gonna run away if Luke's still on the battlefield, man. They're gonna be inspired by him.
Right.
Vader's value is infinity. You can't suppress these dudes enough to make them run if Vader is here.
Okay.
Nobody's running from Vader.
Gotcha.
Right? He will force choke you and then force throw you into the fight. Right? So they know
father choke you.
they know better than to run.
Okay.
Okay?
Yeah.
So that's the end of your action, and we're back to Scott. Scott gets to activate a unit now.
All right, let's see.
Well, I'm going to go ahead and activate this unit.
So he's going to send that over there, and as soon as he does, he grabs a number of white die equal to the amount of suppression that he has.
This is called the rally stick.
It's a rally.
Okay.
Yep. He
So-
throws it looking for a shield or a surge.
Yeah. A blank means I keep the suppression token.
On there. Yep.
And if I had 5 tokens, I would roll 5 dice.
Okay.
So he keeps it, which means they get 1 action this turn.
Well, they're just going to fire, but I'm going to split my pool.
Yep.
Um,
So when you fire, some of your dudes can fire in one direction, some of your dudes can fire the other direction.
One direction like the band?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, you can shoot one direction.
Oh my god.
all day.
In this game, you get to shoot one direction?
Correct.
Give me everything you got left, LB.
Sold. All right.
Don't miss.
So the E11 blasters will
Yep.
go to your infantry. H12 rocket is going to go to your ATRT.
Right, so
Okay.
he's going to fire that rocket over here, and he's going to fire them blasters over there.
I'm out of range.
Ha! Suck it, Scott. Suck it. That means we're definitely not out of range of that one.
One of the nice things about this game is that you can pre-measure.
Yeah.
Okay.
So me declaring that, I don't lose the attack.
Yeah, he can now just...
Instead, they're just going to come over here.
Yeah, yeah. All right. Fire away, man.
Okay. So.
Stormtroopers have a surge, offensive surge, turns that to a hit. Heavy cover is going to get rid of those.
Okay.
So we got 1 to deal with. Block that shit, man.
All right.
Nope.
Oh.
So we're going to take 1 damage. Let's lose this dude.
Let's lose it. Yeah, we don't need him.
And we are suppressed now because
Okay.
it's on fire.
Gotcha.
All right. So he's killed.
So
And
then it's
now
our
back to
turn
us.
now.
Yep.
Okay.
And you can activate them, or we can go in this pool, man. Whatever you want to do. Right here.
Yeah, let's do it.
We let fate decide.
All right.
All
So
right.
we got the walker now. So here's your ATRT. He's got armor, which means he automatically ignores hits of every kind.
Okay.
So you can only damage him with crits.
Okay.
Right. He's got climbing vehicle. It says you were treated as a trooper for the purposes of vertical movement. Right.
Okay.
So like if we were going up a building or something like that, these things can climb.
Okay.
Expert climber says when clambering, which is what that is.
Mhm.
Right. Don't roll defense die to suffer wounds or anything. So we don't really have to worry about those for this game.
Okay.
He's equipped with a laser cannon.
Right on.
Right? And he's got long-range comm links, which means you can issue him an order anywhere on the battlefield. So this dude has 6 health.
Yeah.
Once he takes 4 damage, you roll a die, and he is assigned one of these effects.
Okay.
Right? And it can be weapon destroyed, it can be disabled, you can lose actions,
Or
etc.
damaged.
Gotcha.
Yeah, or you can be damaged.
Okay.
Okay?
That's how vehicles suffer suppression.
So what do you want to do with him?
I want to take out the rest of them.
All right, so we know we're going to have to move because he just measured range 4 and we were out of range, right?
Out of range, right?
So we know we got to get up to him to do that.
Right. Okay.
So our first action has to be to move, right?
Yes.
What's our speed?
Wait, is
It's
it?
the 2 red
Oh,
dots.
the 2 red dots. Okay,
Right?
so,
So that means we're range 2.
range 2.
See?
Okay. Yep. Okay, I see that.
Or I guess it's
Yeah.
vehicles are notched,
Okay. Gotcha.
right? So this can go anywhere like that,
Okay.
right?
Yes.
Where do you want to go? You go that way?
Yeah, let's go that way.
All right. So once we've got the template down, the model comes up
Okay.
and it locks in right there,
And
and
that's
that's
we're in
where it
range.
needs to, right?
All right.
And on the vehicles, you'll notice the base is notched. You see,
You see
those,
that X in the base?
Yes.
Those
Right.
show your firing arcs.
And you'll note that our guns have fixed front. The defender must be inside your front arc.
Oh, okay.
So whereas troopers can fire anywhere, these dudes got to fire.
So as long as it's within this 90-degree.
Yep.
Yep.
Gotcha. So this one, since it's facing this way, we can't fire at these guys.
Correct.
So say you wanted to, you finished, you took them out. How do you have to wait for like another turn
To move.
and then just. So you would have to move. You can't just rotate, right?
There, you actually can.
It's an action. It's
Oh,
called
it is
pivot.
an action. Okay.
You can pivot,
Pivot. Okay.
up to 90 degrees.
up to
All right.
90 degrees.
Cool. Yeah. Let's. Sorry. So let's
All right,
do
so
it.
you're going to fire?
2 black and red.
Yep.
Okay.
Get him.
Ah.
So
So-
you did nothing. And that's his turn. Scott, you're up.
Let's see if I can hurt his ATRT. We'll go with the other troopers.
Okay. All day.
You are in range.
Depending on the type of weapon, they have other keywords. The H-12 with the rocket launcher has cumbersome, which means that unit can't move and shoot that weapon in the same turn. So they're going to aim.
Okay.
And then I will shoot. And let me check range.
You're there, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, you're gonna split. You're gonna split fire.
Yeah. So
Some bitch.
3 troopers, or the rocket, and 2 troopers at the ATRT,
Tracking.
and the other 3 to the.
Right.
Okay.
Got it.
So the first thing when you do this kind of thing, you have to separate your pools of dice, and the keywords stay with the pools.
That's right.
So in this case, I'm doing this to show that the impact keyword from his weapon can actually transfer
will apply
to the trooper's dice if it has to. It doesn't. It's not only these dice that it applies to.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's any dice in the pool. So we'll actually start with that.
I didn't know that.
Yep. It gets scary when you start adding blasts and
That's
impact.
slick, dude. So no modification there. We got nothing to modify at all. Lock that shit, man.
Come on! Oh my gosh!
All right, so we're gonna take 3 damage on him. Boom, just like that.
Bam!
One of the things that I dig about this particular phase of the game, when everybody's like being real timid, is the starter box comes with those 2 bikes back there, and that timidity shit's about to go out the window because you cannot hang out back here. Those bikes can get back here effortlessly.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna move those dudes, right?
Yep.
We could move again. They've already fired.
Oh, that's a good point. Okay.
Right? Those bikes have to move. Man, this is the only time to do it.
Okay.
Right? If we don't do it now, right?
Okay. Yeah, let's do it.
So we made a double move, and one of the beautiful things about this game is you don't have to individually move every base. As they move up, these dudes move up and fall in.
It's just assumed. Gotcha.
Now they fall in within speed 1, so they can come all the way up here.
Okay. Knocking on their door.
What's up, fellas?
Okay.
And now it's jet bike time, man, because that's all he's got left.
There's 2 types of vehicles in the game.
Okay.
Repulsor, things that float,
Okay.
and ground.
And ground vehicles.
Repulsor vehicles have a compulsory move that happens at the start of their activation.
Okay.
And I can't stop that. That has to happen.
Right. It doesn't cost him his action, but he has to make a full speed move.
Okay.
Which in this case is 3.
Okay.
And I'm going to land on this unit.
Yep.
They can go over all day, but during the compulsory move, I can actually land on you and displace you.
Oh, okay.
And so he would be here.
Right.
But that means he's going to get displaced. So we'll set him aside. He's in the unit, so just like the infantry, I pick him up and I can place him
Anywhere within 1.
with 1.
Within 1. Okay.
And I'm going to put him back here
And displace
these 3 middle guys.
Yep.
Like that.
Okay.
So now these guys have to get placed back in coherency with their unit.
By me, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, I don't think you
Okay.
move the dudes that you displace.
And the other perk is that when you displace a unit, they get
get
suppressed.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I'm in coherency. Units that can't be placed in coherency. Yeah, check that for us, Rick. I'm sorry, that's their compulsory move.
That's it.
Now
Yeah,
they get
still
2
have-
actions.
Yep. Can they still attack Luke if he's not activated?
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah. So Luke's the target. He's scared.
And they have both offensive and defensive surge.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
All right.
Now
so
we need to.
now Luke has red defensive die.
Okay.
He has no defensive surge, man. So block all that shit. Throw 5 shields at him real quick.
Should I do 1 at a time or all
No,
5?
throw them all.
All right. Boom.
Block 3 out of 5, so he's going to take 2 damage. A couple things to look at here.
Why do all the rebels always shoot at Vader then?
I don't get it.
You just shoot him.
No,
Just
I mean
keep
no,
shooting
not,
at
but
him.
not when he's in a lightsaber fight, because you don't want to shoot Luke in the back of the head with your unaiming ass,
I got you.
right? So those, anytime units are engaged, right, they can't be fired on.
Okay.
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 Right.
All right. Yeah.
So he's gonna make his attack. Do it.
And they can be in melee, but they don't engage, so you don't move them.
Oh, that's looking way better. So he's gonna take 3 damage,
Which will kill.
and the bikes have 3 health.
Okay.
So he just walked up and zonked. Now we still have one more action. Yeah, let's move him back in the cover, man.
Okay.
Just walk out there, attack him, and then walk back, right back.
Okay, let's do it.
So now, round 1 is done. Right, we would police up all of these command tokens,
Okay.
leave the suppression tokens, and police up any green tokens that you might have.
During the end phase, each unit that has suppression loses 1.
Then we go back to command, man.
They're really good hamburgers here. I'm gonna relive right now. Am I on camera right now?
What do I do with my hands?
For one, every time a police officer pulls me over, I refuse to cooperate on the basis of I have my Third Amendment rights. He cannot question me into the grounds that he cannot force me to quarter soldiers in my home. Fact. I also want to tell you about the world. The world is flat, but it's not the shape you think it is. Find out more later. They have a DM challenge here every month. You might have heard about it. They're all a bunch of dirty, cheating bastards. The only reason I don't win is because I can continually make up excuses instead of improving myself. They're talking about Star Wars Legion tonight. It's a board game. I played it once. It's terrible because it's not things I already like. Now you might say, Nick, why don't you try new things? You might like them. And I'd say, that's where you're wrong. And stupid. If it was any good, I would have already liked it already. This one here is Luke Skywalker. In the movies, he's played by Mark Hamill. Some other actors I like include Mickey Rourke. He was really good in The Wrestler. Cassie, can you bring me another beer? I have a lot of strong opinions. I think this upcoming season, we can also see that the Detroit Lions will have a pretty good chance at improvement. I'm excited to see their draft. I think that they'll probably end up going defensive line in the first round, although there's a real potential for them to get a new running back. I've seen parts of all of the movies except for, I think, the newest one, and these don't look like any Stormtroopers I've seen. So that's wrong. Why don't we have any good Planet of the Apes board games? The first two and maybe the first one of the newest remake. This beer is excellent. I don't remember the name of it, but you should definitely order a bunch when you come down here. People have repeatedly said that the Russians were involved in hacking the last election. So this reminds me of a trip I had. You know, I discovered this very powerful magical ring. I had a short, hairy friend with me that was totes gay for me. Yeah, there was some Eagles. I think it was Northern Tennessee before the state police arrested us. I think they're coming back to kick me off my show because they're actually agents of the secret pug in a top hat that runs the world. I'll be right back. I actually got something.
We're clap.
I'm gonna clap.
It's over. The show's over.
Right,
Clap
yeah,
at the
man,
end.
yeah.
Yeah, no, I've been looking for one online. They're like $8.
I'll get you one.
You can go buy a Ripped Apparel T-shirt and use the promo code Pop Nutshell. It's all one word. It's the cover of that Foo Fighters album that everybody likes, right?
Yeah, I think so.
I mean Nirvana. I'm sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Fix it. Get it right.
Ripped.
Shameless plugs.
Shameless plugs.
Devon, tell us about what you got, man. What you doing? What your show is.
Okay, so my YouTube channel is JavaHero, and pretty much what I do, I go to Comic-Cons. I'm all about cosplay. I love showing the talent.
Hell
I do
yeah.
showcases of all of the cosplay that I see. John Barrowman, if you've heard of him,
yeah,
from
yeah.
Arrow. Yeah.
I've heard of it. From Arrow.
Arrow, Flash, Legends, and
Torchwood.
Torchwood,
Doctor Who.
Doctor Who.
There we go.
I don't know who that is. Doctor Who. I mean, I don't know.
Who?
Who?
Yeah.
Who's the guy?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
There you go.
We're taking over a bit. Shamelessly plug. Plug more. Plug more.
Plug more. Okay, so I do reviews on loot crates. I do reviews on the last two were about lightsabers, Electrum sabers, Saber Forge. Electrum sabers are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's your
it's
stuff.
actually
That's
it
where
is-
you're going?
it is-
Seal of approval.
It
Yeah.
is the
Stamp.
first. Yeah, it is the first smart lightsaber.
Wait, is it like a smartphone? Because I will absolutely
Does it
roll
sync to your
around.
phone?
It syncs to your
Lightsaber.
phone. You can,
Lightsaber. Is it gonna rain today?
Right.
you can change. You can change sound effects, color, everything. Everything is like smartphone app with this lightsaber, and there's no button. It's like an actual slide your finger thing. Besides that, I do cosplay myself. I just finished my Mario Warfare cosplay.
Nice.
I'm
love
coming
it.
out with a
haven't seen
teaser
it yet. I
trailer
love it.
coming out in the next few days, so definitely check that out. But yeah, I'm all about showing the underdog. I want to get their names out and make people feel great about their cosplay and make them want to do more.
That's kind of like the whole, I don't know, beautiful, awesome underlying part of that culture, right? It's it makes you feel incredible, dude, and like the love that people get for it is so rewarding.
One
Actually,
second.
wait,
One second.
wait.
They call these Swifties
Get
for some
Swifty.
reason. It's
Well,
just
Hold on, show them- show them up. Let me
because
see this.
you'll have these and then you'll shit on the floor.
that's mozzarella sticks. fried pickle
Pickle.
Ricks.
Canon. But yeah, man, when I went to PAX the first time, second only to Comic-Con in terms of like attendance, and it almost moved me to tears being in a place with 50,000 of the tribe, man.
It's
50,000 of us,
ridiculous.
man.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's being positive about everything.
I thought you were about to dive into like a nerd war story, like, well, then all the Star Wars guys were over there,
Nope.
and then the Trekkies were over here.
Nope.
And they just
Yeah, they're
they have
snapping
Field and
as they're
McCoy
walking
that
together.
shit.
Yeah.
Like,
They're walking down the hallways.
they were perfectly on rhythm. Just
Yeah,
now.
that was great. That was
Yeah,
well
it
done.
was good.
But yeah, man, I love that community and the
Oh, yeah.
and the cosplay guys. They're emblematic of that particular movement in our culture. You guys go check this out. The link we'll put it in the comments too down below.
And I've got one more thing. I'm doing a lot of how-tos with cosplay. So if anyone's if anyone's actually into animatronics, I'm actually huge into Iron Man.
I did a small table show at a Boys and Girls Club Comic-Con in Bay St. Louis. Super
Yeah.
low rent thing, but it was real cool. Same deal. Not nearly the scope. Not
Right.
50,000 of anything. There was like 80 people there, but they all had the same vibe. And there was a dude there that was teaching this same thing, and he had his Iron Man gear on. That was really cool, man.
Yeah.
So that's dope.
Stefan's like, yeah,
I mean,
that was
everything
me.
else. We're giving away a mini. We're giving away this. That's what we need to talk
mini.
about next. It's
Yeah.
a mini.
It's a macro.
It's a monster
Yeah,
mini.
yeah. Is it a minute? Yeah, it's not. There's nothing miniature about this.
We took one of these Imperial Raiders, which is the biggest, baddest thing in the. I don't know for
Yeah,
sure.
it's the biggest one.
Would you say
Yeah.
this
It's
is
the biggest Imperial ship.
when you guys ruled out Epic? Scott said immediately, like, dude, just let me have this 100 points right here. I'll play with just this.
And lose every game.
So we took it out the box. It's usually just a regular old gray. I mean, they look great when you take them out the box, dude. All the X-Wing stuff's killer, but none of them look like this.
And it's a $5 raffle, man. Get you rated for $5.
Maybe, if you're lucky.
Well,
If you're
someone
lucky.
Somebody's gonna get a Raider for $5.
Come on, Star
I'm
Wars
telling you one
nerds.
thing.
In my experience, there's no such thing as luck. You guys are terrible at this.
Yeah, this is gonna be fun, man. I'm really excited about
Yeah.
finishing this up. We're gonna put some real cool logoing on top of it.
Giving away a mini.
A very very
Champ?
large mini.
You got any words for the?
Oh, for the next DM challenge?
Somebody's gonna come after you.
Well, the last two guys have said they were going to defend their title. That didn't happen. I'm going to say the same thing, hopefully this time.
You better be here, dude.
What'd you guys think about Legion, man? Like,
I
what'd you
thought
think
it
of
was
the
great.
game?
The bits that I saw, I wasn't in the room most of the time.
Yeah.
So
If you're with a group that can really explain, and from what LB was saying, that the guide is not too difficult at all to look at and to understand. If you have a question, you
The
can.
rule book's like 12 pages long.
Yeah,
or
just
18
12
pages
pages,
long,
right?
something
There's
like that.
the default rules in the box, which cover the starting game, which is close to what we played.
Right.
And then it also goes into like the expanded rules, and the company released a PDF for free that
Okay.
covers everything else.
Everything else. Okay. All right. So if you ever have any questions, there is most likely a perfect answer for you. Great
we got the
teachers.
house rule here says
Exactly.
don't worry about that because the first 5 times you play any one of these non-traditional board games,
Right.
you play it wrong.
Exactly. So
But you just adapt, man. Have a good time with it. It doesn't look like there's a bad time to be had with it. Everything that I saw looked awesome. Vader throws all those dice. He plays all that.
Yeah, how cool
waste.
is that, dude? Like, and he pulled him.
That was amazing. Dude.
Force
That
pulled
turned
him in a
out-
melee and killed all of them. Oh, except for the dude he force choked in the next turn.
Yeah.
Right, effortlessly.
Didn't even bother with them.
I dig the game, man. I really, really like it. Obviously, it's Star Wars, so I'm into it.
It's fine.
You know, but at the kind of nuts and bolts level of that game, I love how quick it is.
Yeah.
You know, like we got done with that in 4 turns.
Oh yeah.
And 4 turns was real fast, man. Once you understand how everything moves and what your options are after you move, you're in and out, dude, and the game's over real quick.
I think this is the kind of game where if you're with a bunch of friends, like no matter how difficult it can be, like you're gonna have a great time no matter what. But honestly, this seems like a very basic.
It's pretty streamlined, man.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy to wrap your head around.
Oh yeah.
And I think you'd agree with this, man. Much like what you see in Star Wars X-Wing, man, it just has a real cinematic feel to it.
For sure.
Fantasy Flight, dude.
Yeah,
Fantasy
they're-
Flight.
they kill
They're on
that,
top
man.
of it. They're like
X-Wing
the little-
feels like
the-
dogfights.
The little things in all those games. We talked about Rebellion once before, how there's a mission that stands out just for Luke. You take Luke to Dagobah to seek Yoda, and you replace old Luke with Jedi Luke. You replace New Hope Luke with Jedi Luke, and he's a little bit stronger. He starts off a little weaker than Vader, and he ends up a little bit stronger than Vader, and it's only for him. There's bits in X-Wing. Spoilers for Rebels, unless you guys don't want to hear it. Spoilers.
Spoiler alert.
I'm sorry, I spoiled some shit for LB.
Uh-oh.
You can only take Darth Maul onto a Rebel squad if you have Ezra there, and that's important. And this shit's the exact same thing. Like, if Luke's not alive and in range, and Vader slowly works his way in, everybody just runs.
They're running, dude.
That's awesome, man.
Nobody's sticking around to fight it out with Vader, dude. But guys, thank you guys for being here, champ. Thank you. Good luck to you at the end of the month.
Thank you for having
dude,
me.
Thank you for coming, man. I really appreciate it.
For sure.
I'm LB Wilson. This is Wayward Kraken Gamecast. This is Anthony Patello.
PopNutshell.com.
Go check them out, man. Thank y'all for watching, guys.
If you guys like Star Wars, get Star Wars Legion.